Today we are going to be building the set for my video that I made last week, which was a haunted farm and a mysterious farmer. And so in this video I'm building the haunted farm, and I didn't have Horse Ranch pack at the time that I was building this build, so I had to kind of make do without it by using like cottage living and all the other previous farm packs that we've had, because we've had a lot. So I didn't struggle too much there, but I just couldn't make the kind of farm that you get with the horse pack, where, you know, a more American type farm. So I kind of made a more cottagey farm, which I thought was kind of cool because I made it in the werewolf world. So it's in the middle of this forest, and in the storyline, I wanted the farm to be like high up in the mountains and deep in the forest. But what's kind of funny is this lot, there's like a load of houses right next to it, and yeah, the houses are mostly abandoned, but that wasn't really the story I was trying to go with. So when I was filming the video, I kind of had to avoid showing the houses, and I think in some of the clips you can see them, and it's kind of funny because I remember just thinking, oh, that's so annoying, you can still see the houses, but I just kind of ignored it. Anyway, so you can see I've made a kind of barn structure and a little walled garden area. So if you haven't watched the video, I highly recommend it because I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'll put a little card in the top right corner here, so if you want to watch it after this video, I recommend it. But yeah, so I really enjoyed building this spooky farm because I don't really build farms that much in this game, and I don't know why. I really like farm sims like Stardew Valley, so I feel like I should play more with farms in this game, but I haven't really ever properly run a farm before. I think definitely once I get the Horse Ranch pack, I will do a kind of complete farm series maybe, like, because I think that's just really fun. Farm gameplay in The Sims is really good, especially because we have so many packs dedicated to farming and animals and gardening. Like we have seasons, cats and dogs, cottage living, horse ranch, and the greenhouse kit, which I don't have. I'm not going to buy any of the kits. I am anti-kit, so I will not buy them. So I don't know, I think I will definitely do a farming let's play at some point. I think that could be quite fun. But yeah, so I decided that I wanted to do the inside of the barn kind of split. So I wanted it to be half barn, half living area, because obviously the mysterious farmer has to have somewhere that she sleeps and eats and just lives. So I raised up an area and made like a sort of lofted section, and I thought that was really cool because I always forget that platforms exist, and platforms are just a really cool aspect of the game. So I want to utilize them more, and I feel like I've been wasting them. So I made this cool lofted area and put all of her necessities there. She has a really tiny bathroom because, you know, that's important, and I feel like she's quite lucky because I could have just given her a little outhouse outside, but she actually has an indoor bathroom. So yeah, she's actually living the dream. But yeah, so she has a tiny little kitchen, a little bed area, and then a bathroom. And I gave her some bookcases so she can read in her spare time. But I think mainly she's quite busy with the farm because there's a lot of work to do. And yeah, so she has this kind of cute area, and I wanted it to look quite rustic and all made of wood, and I wanted the wood tones to kind of match, but because of the lighting I couldn't really tell, and I just thought, well, it doesn't really matter because she's in the middle of nowhere. Why is she gonna have completely matching wood tones? Like, it does not make sense. You don't even have that in real life. Like, most houses don't even have matching wood tones for everything. So why would she have it here when she's just in the middle of the forest and she never gets any visitors or anything? She's just there by herself. So I just thought, oh, I'll just give it a go, and it doesn't really matter if not everything is matching, especially as you can't see it because of the lighting. Anyway, you can see I'm adding a load of plants to her room because no room is complete without plants, especially on a farm. Like, if you have plants outside, you should have them inside. So I made sure to completely deck out this entire living area with plants. I was also really uncertain about where exactly to put the kitchen because I didn't really like the idea of having the fridge up against the fence because it's kind of weird to see from behind, but then there wasn't really anywhere else for it to go, especially because I didn't want anything up against the window. So I kind of just had to bite the bullet and put it up against the fence so you can see it when you're in the barn area, but I don't think it matters too much anyway. And so I just kept decorating the barn. I wanted it to be very cluttered and very full, and like she actually uses it to store all her farming equipment. I ended up putting in at the end a lot of her crops, so maybe she's storing them there, and I just put all her animal stuff. So she had, I think I made her 3 dogs and 2 cats, or 2 dogs and 3 cats, I don't know, something like that. So I gave them 5 bowls for her many animals because they need to eat. And when I was recording this, I did not feed the animals. I just cheated their needs, and I tried to feed them once, but it just went all moldy and gross. So that was a bit of a failure. But I don't know, I tried. I did my best. But anyway, I was mainly looking throughout the build catalogue for anything that could clutter up this space because there was a massive empty space in the middle, and I didn't want it to just be open. I wanted there to be things about and just things to fill the space, because a barn is usually used for storage, isn't it? So like I needed barrels and crates and things, so I did eventually find a lot of that sort of thing, like from Cats and Dogs and Get Famous. Some of those prop decorations, they were really useful, and I had to hide the litter tray because I didn't think it really matched the aesthetic I was going for. So I hid it behind those barrels there because I didn't really want it to be seen. And so now you can see I'm kind of finishing. I'm putting some plant pots in the middle. I didn't ever actually fill the plant pots with plants because I just didn't get around to it, I guess. But I imagined maybe during the winter, that's where she puts her crops, because obviously you can't grow things outside in the winter, at least not in The Sims. And she doesn't have a greenhouse because she doesn't have all that modern technology, so she grows it inside her barn. But yeah, so now I'm adding little cracks and cobwebs to the barn to make it really look haunted, because at the end of the video, I do show the barn a bit more destroyed and decrepit and a bit gross because I wanted to show that time had passed. So I do alter the barn slightly and make it a bit more worn, but at this point the barn's just a little bit lightly aged and lightly broken, because even though she's using it, obviously it's an old place. She hasn't fully maintained it properly because she's busy. Anyway, so now you can see I'm in the garden. I'm making the garden all pretty, and I wanted to add chickens and cows and llamas, but I thought, oh, the cows and the llamas take up a lot of space, so I decided to just go with 2 coops. I never actually filled the coops with chickens because I just forgot, I guess. I couldn't really be bothered to buy the chickens considering they wouldn't play any role in the video, so I just pretended it wasn't there. And so now you can see I'm landscaping, just making the barn look all pretty from the outside, and I wasn't really too sure how overgrown I wanted it to be, but I decided to go with quite overgrown because, again, she's focusing on her plants, not the surrounding surrounding plants in the area, because she's busy and she doesn't have time to be looking after the surrounding environment when she's got to look after her own crops for her own food. So I wanted it to be quite foresty, I guess. And yeah, so I think I'm coming up to the end of the video. So if you enjoyed, could you please give it a like, maybe leave a comment and subscribe. If you really enjoyed the video, you could share it with a friend. Thank you for watching and goodbye.